Hey folks, welcome to Mountainside. Well, this is going to be a video that's going to be a little different than our norm, I guess, if we have a norm. Because there's been a change this week, and Amy left. So I'm here trying to figure out things and what to do and all that. But she left town for a wedding, so that's a good thing. But I'm still here at the homestead, doing things alone. So I'm home alone steading. Sorry, that's an old joke. But I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I've been doing this week, and not throughout the week, but I'm just going to kind of recap things here in this video and talk through stuff, because it's been a challenge. And for those of you that are homesteading by yourselves, big shout out to you. It's challenging. And I tell you, the biggest challenge I've come into so far is, how do I take care of myself? Because the first thing that's been suffering for me so far is, how and when do I eat and what do I eat? So let's just get into this video. Now, one of the things that I had to do is figure out Amy's water keeper. And that's part of the reason why she made that last video, is because I don't make it. I don't know how to do it, but I needed to keep things going. And right now I'm kind of overwhelmed with the amount of kefir we have on hand. I actually had to bottle some up this morning before church, and I put it in the fridge, and still have all this I have to take care of. I made the batch this morning before church, but now, I've got to, oops, already messing it up. Now I've got to clean everything up and get it to where it belongs, so that the system stays intact. And that's one of the big things about homesteading, I believe, is, having your systems in place. And I believe a lot of others will, agree with that statement. The better your systems are, the more successful you're going to be. So, trying to keep Amy's system going here as best as I can. I made a little modifications for myself, but the big picture is still the same. But it went, my struggle with this went from, I was, the first couple times I made it, I was like, oh, this takes forever. But, you figure different things out along the way, like, all right, I could boil the water and have that ready, and make sure I have enough ice on hand to cool it down, and all that kind of good stuff. Because, that really takes the longest, I think, is boiling the water and then cooling it down so you can put the grains in. But yeah, like I said, I had to combine bottles this morning, which is a new step. And then I had to get out the door early. Well, not early, but, I had to get to the church this morning. It's Sunday morning. Well, it was Sunday morning. But now I'm stuck with a big mess to clean up. Oops. And, I had to kind of leave it that way because I had to get out the door. But all was good. The Lord got me there on time when I was supposed to be there. Well, it wasn't the time I wanted to be there, but it was the time He wanted me there, so that's all that matters. So now, yeah. So now I got everything to put away, clean up the table, go to the next thing. But then there's like the normal household chores that you got to still do and keep up with. That's my coffee cup. I'm going to leave that there for tomorrow morning. Got to get the dishes put away. It's only been me, so there's not a lot of dishes, thankfully, but there's still stuff you got to keep up with and do your part. So get the dishes put away and figure out what's going on. But a lot of these are, tasks you kind of take for granted just when you're with all your normal people, if any of us are normal. I mean, when we're both here, we just kind of flow through things. We take care of things and just keep on going about the day that way. But when you're here, when you're by yourself, all things are up to you to take care of. Oh, come on. But like even chores this morning, kind of did the best I could last night to set everything up so I was successful this morning, because a lot of times morning chores I could just kind of putz around, take my time, meander a little bit, enjoy the time out with the animals when it's not 30 degrees and 25-mile-an-hour winds like it is today. But today there's like a time crunch because I've got things I'm responsible for that I got to take care of at the church. So I had to be out the door by a certain time. And I was stressing about it. I told the pastor about it this morning, and I said, but ultimately, the good Lord's going to have me where he wants me, when he wants me, no matter what. So what am I stressing about? And yeah, got there exactly when he wanted me there. Oops. Now that we got everything out of the dishwasher, and yes, we are very thankful and blessed to have a dishwasher. Even though it is just the two of us, it is one of those. It's one of those tools on our homestead that, we cook real food. We go through a lot of dishes, even when it's just one of us. So yes, we are very thankful and fortunate and blessed to have a dishwasher. But it still requires loading and unloading. So as I continue, once the dishwasher is empty, like I said, now you got to put everything back in it because, it ran overnight. While I was sleeping. See, that's called multitasking. Then I load it now, and by the time I'm done with dinner and the evening rolls around, no, I won't need that again. That was from last night. If you know, you know. But so yeah, after dinner, before I go to bed, I will start this again and run it again, and everything will be ready for me to put away and do the whole thing all over again tomorrow. All right. That task done. Unload and reload. Okay. I also had to start a fire when I got home, so let's go check on that. Yeah, so like I said, it's 32 degrees and the wind's been blowing. And the best way for us to take the chill out of the house is really to get a fire going. And I think that'll be just fine. All right, that should hold. I got a great wife. I really do. Even when she's working full time, she does a lot of the household things herself to make sure that they're taken care of. So, how bad would it be if, I left all this laundry for her to do when she got home? That wouldn't be a great husband now, would it? But especially since, good 90% of it's my own. So I'm going to at least make sure it's washed and dried, and that part's at least done before she gets home. Because I'm not sure when she's going to be home. So, like, when I say, I came home from church and hit the ground running, yeah, that's no light statement there. Yeah, I did change my clothes and got into things and figured I'd talk to y'all while I'm doing this. So I had to set that up. That's kind of fun though. But yeah, it's like you have the stuff you normally do that keep you busy all day, but then when your partner's not there or somebody that you count on, to help and, address tasks and divide and conquer and stuff like that, it really puts a strain on the homestead and, makes you, I guess maybe it makes you appreciate your partner a little bit better or a little bit more. Not that I don't appreciate Mama and, I tell her how much I appreciate her and love her all the time, but, when she's not here as my helpmeet, it makes it a struggle, and I think that's something that gets lost a lot today. Yeah, people get married and they say vows, and a lot of people today get hung up on a wife should obey her husband as he obeys the Lord. Might paraphrase that a little bit, but people think that's like pressure, and you're holding your husband's holding their wife down, but biblically, yes, biblically, she's my partner. She's right alongside of me. Are there decisions that ultimately fall on me as king and priest of my household? Yes, but we pray about it, we talk about it, we make decisions together. So we work side by side with everything we do. So she's not here, I struggle a little bit. I get stuff done, but might lose 5 pounds along the way. Well, made it out here for chores. Now, this afternoon chores won't be bad, but it is cold and windy, and we are getting a flurry right now too, so I don't know if you can see there or not. But this afternoon, like I was saying, the afternoon chores aren't going to be that bad because I moved the big boys yesterday and I moved the moms into their mom watch spot yesterday also. So they don't need pellets this afternoon. Big boys don't need pellets this afternoon because they're on fresh paddocks. Fresh paddocks in what, February 22nd? Yeah, not bad. But I'll show you where they're at. I just got the pellets for the babies. Well, they're not babies anymore. They're going to be moms too. So let's go. Whew. Now, like I said, it's cold and it's windy. So I am not using the tripod today because it will fall. But let's go take a quick look at where these guys are. So there, woo! You can see Jericho and Claude. They're right there along the road. They're in their third paddock coming up there. They're going to be good there till Tuesday or so. But like right here by the house are the 6 ewes that will be giving birth. Well, anytime now. Like I said, we're on baby watch. So this is the baby watch area. So in this area, this is where I did my trial with the soil saviors, which they really, reacted to in a great way. They kept on going there to graze every time that they were coming out to this area. But I also reapplied, since it was like 70 degrees all week. I took advantage and, I applied soil savers down this entire side and a little bit over there by the birdhouse. So I have this whole section, treated, ready to go, because you need to. You need to make sure you're taking care of your ground. Hard to see. Right up there, side by side. Okay. Yeah, that's normal. Then, look back here. Number 3. So we got 2 here. And a third one there. That's on a random Thursday afternoon. Yeah, they're not spraying the skies with nothing, are they? See that sprayer right there? That is filled with soil saviors. And why am I spraying soil saviors all over the place? Because of stuff like that. There's a couple more in front of them. 2 in formation. There you go, coming out of those clouds. And 1 behind it. Best way to combat it? Soil savers. Taking care of your soil. I'm trying to get better at that. But ultimately, I believe in the soil savers product because of what I've seen here with our ewes and what I've seen with our friend Billy out at Permapasture Farm when he was remediating the Rollins area here in North Carolina. If you're curious of what soil savers is, you can look back at some of our other videos where I talked about it, or go to the link below, go to their website, check them out there. It's a little bit expensive, but it goes a long way and it is worth it, especially if you're like me and not making compost yet. I got a friend. He wants some attention, but it is a great alternative or addition to compost. Go ahead and check out the link. If you have questions, send me an email. Leave a comment below. We could talk about it. But let's get back to these chores. I originally planned on moving these guys today, but given the weather conditions, I'm not going to. Woo. Which is fine, because I'm still throwing hay. Oh, we excited? Yes, we're excited. Yes, Ivy. Yes, Ivy, we're excited. Yes. Let's go. Come on, Phil. Now, like I said, the mom's over there. They're getting ready to lamb. Probably next week. That's normal for us. So that's 6 ewes. Average twins per birth. That's going to be 12 babies. And good girl. So we have people that we're in conversation with still about starter flocks, moms in milk, moms with ewes, moms with lambs, all those kind of different scenarios. But if you still are interested in sheep with very strong parasite resistance, great wool, strong milk, great meat, let me know. We could set you up with a starter flock. We could set you up with a few sheep that you want to try to raise and see how it goes, and then eventually put in the freezer. We could also help you putting them in the freezer, depending on how close you are to us. Again, comment below, send us an email, get on our list. These babies, well, again, they're not babies anymore, but these sheep right here, they're not going to start lambing until June. So if you're not sure this time, get on our June list. Now I got to get out of here. Oh, yeah. Fence on, water's good. Let's go over to the others. Hi, Buck. Buck joined us too. And yes, the high tunnel is complete. And now I just got to make the raised beds and get some soil up here. The two Tasty crew. So that's why I was able to do things so quick this morning too. You know, I rolled down to Claude and Jericho. Whew. Then rolled up to the U's. Then I took care of the Phil group. Then I came over here, took care of the Tasty crew. Then fed the dogs and the chickens and everybody else. But I even jumped this fence while it was still on. I'm not going to do that this time. But again, like I was saying earlier, having the systems in place, they do matter. They really do. Let's see what happens when we go inside. Come on. Come on, out of the way. Come on. Got to back up. Oh. Hold on. All right, sheep are done. You ready? Somebody's ready for dinner. You ready for dinner? Huh? You want dinner? Yes. Oh. You ready? Huh? You want some dinner? You want some dinner? Yes. Well, I don't know if it was a battery issue or just the cold got to the microphone, but yes, the microphone stopped working. So after we fed the dogs, you know, I go out and gather the eggs, and between the nesting boxes and various spots within the chicken coop area, we ended up with 32 eggs this day. So that's a good day for eggs. Okay, for those of you counting at home, the total egg count this afternoon was 32, because there was 2 outside in the hiding spot that I got when I had to finish getting the feed ready for the morning. So, which is something that Amy usually does. So yeah, chickens are usually her thing. I usually take care of the sheep, but she also does a pre-mix that she soaks. Includes apple cider vinegar, some other stuff. But I ran out this morning usually lasts 3 days. Today was day 3 of my last mix. So I wanted to make sure that that's ready for the morning. Nothing exciting there, but I'm going to get inside because this wind is enough. Okay, it's 5 o'clock, almost. Just got back inside from doing the chores while you were all with me. Now I'm going to just warm up a couple pieces of pizza that I made yesterday. I'm hungry. So tonight we got our Bible study at 6:30. So I'm going to eat this, get the Bible study prep done, and I'll eat dinner after Bible study. Okay. Okay, folks, it's about 5:15 on Sunday now. We have Bible study at 6:30. So my pizza's warm. I'm going to go ahead and eat. But, leave me a comment below. Have you been in a situation like this where, you're home by yourself and you have to take care of everything? Maybe your partner, wife, husband doesn't want to do the homestead, so you're carrying it yourself. Let me know, what you feel is important. Is it your systems? Is it your determination? Is a little bit of both, a little bit of faith? Let me know in the comments below. Or, if you homestead by yourself, and, what do you do? How big is your homestead? Because you can do it yourself, but you got to plan better. I didn't plan great, so it is what it is. But just curious. Let me know your thoughts. And see you at 6:30. Take care.